So my name is Elena Perez, and thank you, first of all, for the invitation to come and speak. I think just looking at the agenda and the itinerary that you have for the next month, it's very impressive. So excited to be here to speak with you. I'm coordinator of Making Change at Walmart, Puget Sound Coalition. And the coalition really, I'm also a community organizer for UFCW Local 21. We represent the grocery workers, and I agree. It's a huge relief that we didn't have to strike, but our members were ready to. And the reason that they were ready to is because they had so many customers coming in telling them that you were behind them 100%. And that gave them the courage to carry through and to get a good contract. So we're very excited about that. But as part of my work as well, the Making Change at Walmart, it's a campaign that's been going for about 2 years now. It's the latest iteration of past campaigns highlighting the way that Walmart operates. Before it was a Wake Up Walmart, and high cost of low prices is a movie that came out right around the time that Wake Up Walmart was really highlighting the way that Walmart impacts workers' lives and all of our lives, frankly. And so the Making Change at Walmart Puget Sound Coalition is a coalition of over 24 organizations locally, of faith organizations, small business, food justice, women's rights, immigrant rights organizations, all coming together, recognizing that in order to rebuild our country, in order to rebuild our middle class, we really do have to tackle Walmart. And so we're in this together. Next. And why Walmart? How many of you are somewhat familiar with Walmart and how they operate and if we've done our job well? Good, lots of hands. So the title that I had on the first page was Change Walmart, Change Our World. And partly that's because that's Jerry's phrase that he uses a lot. Jerry's going to come up and talk to you soon. He says, if we can change Walmart, we can change the world. And it's not really that much of an exaggeration. There's a lot of truth to it because Walmart is the world's largest employer. There's about 1.4 million workers in the United States that work directly for Walmart, and over 2 million worldwide that are employees of Walmart. That doesn't include all of the workers who work through Walmart's supply chain, the ones that make the clothing that Walmart buys, the ones that work in the seafood plants where Walmart sources their seafood, the ones that work in the warehouses that move exclusively Walmart product. So just the workers who work on the retail end, it's over 2 million worldwide and 1.4 million in the U.S., the world's largest employer and the largest employer in the U.S. And so Walmart really, the way that they operate impacts all of us. They impacts those workers directly and then impacts their families and impacts their communities. And beyond just the sheer millions of workers that are impacted by Walmart, also the amount of wealth that has been amassed by 6 heirs, the 6 children of Sam Walton who founded Walmart, are the world's richest family, certainly the richest in the country. And they have amassed wealth that is equal to the bottom 42% of all American families. The bottom 42% of all American families have wealth equal to these 6 kids, although they're adults now, but I still refer to them as kids. That's 49 million families. So with all of that wealth comes a lot of influence because, believe me, they use their money to ensure that they build that wealth and continue on this path. So the Walmart's ruling family, the Waltons, their wealth has actually doubled since 2007. And in fact, just last month, there was a new Forbes list of the 400 richest Americans, and the 6 Waltons were shown to have increased their net worth by 25% in just the last 6 months. So that is, I can't remember how many million it is, 29 billion since March is what their wealth has increased by in just the last 6 months. And they're worth about $145 billion, those 6 individuals. And this is while the vast majority of Walmart workers make less than $25,000 a year. And when you look at all that wealth, it's certainly not trickling down. Walmart is the largest user of government assistance in the state of Washington. They're the #1 user of DSHS Medical in Washington state. They have been consistently since the state has tracked that information. That means that their employees, through no fault of their own, these are workers who are working full-time sometimes, are forced onto basic health. Their children are forced onto government-provided medical because they can't get it through Walmart. They are heavy users of food stamps as well, EBT, as it's referred to now. And now that the Affordable Care Act has been implemented, I'm sure you're not surprised to guess that Walmart, more and more workers are being given fewer than 30 hours a week so that they don't even get health care through Walmart at all anymore. Many don't. And so we are subsidizing Walmart's business model. It's America's richest family, and we're still paying to provide food and health care to their employees. And they also have a very strategic method of avoiding property taxes. They regularly challenge taxes all across the country, and they find ways to shelter themselves from paying taxes. And so they're not satisfied with just having their employees, on public programs, but they're also trying to avoid taxes at any cost. And when Walmart moves in, for every 3 jobs they create, 2 jobs are lost. Or excuse me, for every 2 jobs they create, 3 jobs are lost. And the reason is because when Walmart moves in, they very intentionally undercut the competition. Sometimes mom and pop shops, they will undercut them. They'll find ways to, provide goods at lower cost. They can take a loss. This is the largest corporation, right? The richest corporation in the country. They can operate at a loss long enough to drive other businesses out, and then the prices will bounce back. But many businesses shut within like a mile, 2 miles of Walmart when they open. And Walmart's influence on jobs, the poverty wages, we already talked about that. The overseas manufacturing. Walmart uses our trade agreements, which if you're familiar with NAFTA, Trans-Pacific Partnership is the latest agreement that folks are trying to get passed that would continue Walmart's ability to be able to scour the world for the cheapest goods at the lowest price. That often means that these goods are made under unsafe working conditions, and the workers aren't being paid well. And so overseas manufacturing, the workers suffer as well. And Walmart's standard is so low that hundreds of thousands of its workers live in poverty, even the ones that are working full-time. And in fact, the sweatshops, they don't just exist overseas. You hear about the sweatshops, the garment factories in Bangladesh. You hear about the sweatshops in Vietnam. But we actually had a case in New Orleans where a seafood plant was found the workers very courageously, these were largely Mexican immigrant workers in New Orleans, very courageously went on strike and refused to work. And they claimed that they were being forced to work, that they were being locked into the plant and physically threatened by management. And there was an investigation, and the investigation verified that in fact that was true. There was forced labor happening in our own country, in New Orleans, and the workers were brave enough to stand up and fight it. Thank goodness. That supplier went out of business. They were forced to pay fines and restitution to the workers, and the workers were given visas as protection to them because they stood up and fought this, and that Walmart was the largest customer of that seafood plant. So that just kind of gives you an indication that this isn't just a problem abroad in terms of sweatshops. And so I think that one thing about our campaign is we've been pounding away at Walmart for a long time, and there are workers that are very courageously standing up and talking about the way Walmart operates. And we know that we're effective because Walmart is responding. They're defending themselves. And just recently, they said very publicly that, well, we have this many, hundreds of thousands of workers that are making over $25,000 a year. So these are good jobs. We provide good jobs. What they didn't expect is that we can do the math. I think they said that something like 475,000 workers make over $25,000, but they have 1.2 million workers in the United States. So what does that tell you? So we countered and we said, well, that means that 2/3 of your employees in the United States, over 800,000, make less than $25,000 a year. And Walmart was a bit flustered by that, and then they responded. They're like, "Oh no, some of those are management. So really, it's only over half of our employees make less than $25,000 a year." Either way, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that our richest corporation is operating in this way, and luckily we have some very brave workers that are doing something about it. So there are several campaigns that have risen up to respond to Walmart because of the realization, again, that it impacts all of us. It impacts our communities, it impacts workers, and it impacts the entire retail industry. I was talking to you about our grocery workers locally who were within an hour and a half of 22,000 workers having to go on strike and go without pay to just fight to maintain the union standards that they have in their jobs. And the bargaining committee at the table, when the employers, these union corporations, told them why they were demanding cuts in wages, why they were demanding cuts in health care benefits, and they said it's because we have to compete with companies like Walmart. And so you need to take the cuts because we have to compete with Walmart. And thank goodness our workers stood strong, the community stood strong. We said, no, we're not going that direction. We're not going to chase Walmart to the bottom. And we succeeded in protecting, improving wages and protecting all of our benefits and our pension. But it was a fight. And the reason we have to go through this fight every 3 years is because Walmart is operating this way with no restrictions. Well, at least before they had no restrictions. Now we do. So a very exciting development is we have Walmart workers who are standing up and organizing. They're not organizing into a union. It's a workers' association called Our Walmart, Organization United for Respect at Walmart. And they are standing up and saying, you know what, we don't have a union, but that doesn't mean we can't act like a union. It doesn't mean that we can't act together collectively to improve our working conditions. So workers are standing up in Our Walmart to make a difference. I talked to you about Making Change at Walmart, which is the campaign run by UFCW, the Grocery Workers Union, and the coalition in many cities across the country, including Seattle. We have Warehouse Workers United to stand up for the warehouse workers who operate, again, in warehouses that exclusively move Walmart product. They might as well be Walmart warehouses, but they're run by a third party, so Walmart can have that layer of legal protection for the way the workers are treated. We have the International Alliance, is the Uni Americas Alliance of Walmart workers and unions all around the world who are coordinating together to demand that Walmart do better. It may surprise you that Walmart is unionized in many places around the world. In Brazil and several other countries, they are forced to be union, and so they do. And that demonstrates that Walmart will comply with, sorry, that was my alarm. Walmart will comply with labor law and demands that workers be allowed a collective voice when they have to. And unfortunately, in this country, they just don't have to. So they don't. But luckily, we've got brothers and sisters around the world that are joining with us to put pressure on Walmart where they are union and where they aren't union. And then we have the Walmart 1% campaign, which continues to highlight the Walton family, the Walton heirs, and to demand that they do better. And so some of the things we do is we do stand by our brothers and sisters around the world, like the Bangladeshi garment workers, and I'm sure you've heard about the fires and disasters in factories in Bangladesh, where workers basically go to work not knowing if they're going to come home to their families. And many have not. Thousands have not. And in just, the last year, we've had 3 disasters. We had the Tazreen factory fire just around Black Friday weekend last year. Over 100 workers were locked into a factory for some point of time. And many escaped and many did not. Over 100 garment workers, mostly young women, died in that fire in Bangladesh. And then Kalpona Akhtar, she's a union organizer in Bangladesh. She's a courageous organizer. She came to talk about that disaster, and she brought with her Sumi Abidin, who was a garment worker in that factory, in the Tazreen factory, when it caught fire, and she jumped out of a window and survived to her own surprise, actually. She didn't expect to survive. She jumped out of a 3rd floor, 4th floor window because she wanted her parents to have her body. She had seen other situations where workers died in fires and their bodies were never recovered, and so she jumped out of the factory to make sure that her family could have that closure, and she managed to survive. So she was here. And while they were here, we got news of the factory collapse, where over 1,000 workers were crushed to death. Again, a factory where Walmart was one of the largest customers. And then just this month, another fire. 8 workers died, many more critically injured. Again, Walmart is the largest customer of these factories. And as a result of these tragedies, something good has come of it, that there's finally a pact that is gaining ground, and corporations are signing on, agreeing to pay for the improvements necessary to get these factories up to standard. But Walmart still refuses to sign on, even though these 3 disasters, they are the largest or one of the largest customers. So Walmart still isn't doing the right thing by the workers, and we will continue to stand by them until they do. And our Walmart organization, United for Respect at Walmart, this is the Workers Association, just 2 years old, is growing throughout the country. The hands represent where the workers are organizing, including in this area. And this is a picture of our local team. I don't know when, I think this might have been taken like 2 years ago when they first formed. And there continue to be really amazing, courageous leaders that are coming out of our local stores. And some of the things they do is they demand safety in the stores. This is actually at Gerry's store, Federal Way Supercenter. There were many safety hazards that were identified by workers, and they were taken to management time and time again, and the repairs were not made. And finally, they came together. They signed a petition laying out what the safety hazards were and why they had to be fixed. And they went along with community, along with people like you and me, to deliver the petition to the store manager. She's not the store manager, but she was the manager on duty. And even though despite months of raising these issues, these safety issues, they were not repaired, when that petition was delivered, that very night, one of the most egregious safety hazards was repaired immediately. And so that demonstrates the effectiveness of workers standing together. And so there was a pallet that was carrying tons and tons of product, and it was off its base. And if that had slipped with a worker underneath, they would have been killed. And that night, it was fixed. There are still other issues that haven't been repaired, but that demonstrates the power of the workers. And so Gerry is one of our strongest leaders, And he has stood strong and spoken out despite, Walmart's record of retaliation, and he's never stopped despite everything. And they did ultimately fire him. He went on strike earlier this year, and when he came back within about 3 days, Gerry was suspended for some bogus reason and ultimately fired. Walmart has refused to hire him back. We still demand that he get his job back. Retaliation is unacceptable, and we have made that clear, and we're going to continue to fight for Gerry, but he continues to fight for his coworkers. He hasn't stopped for a second, and you're going to hear from him. And Gerry luckily doesn't have to do it alone. We're with him. This is a picture of some of the community supporters, faith allies, human rights allies, people, just regular people like you and me, who are standing with the workers. And we're going to make sure that the workers aren't alone and that we all do this together. One thing you can do, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the workers are going on strike in response to the retaliation and in response to Gerry's firing, in response to discipline that's been taken against other workers who have stood up around unsafe and unfair working conditions. And so the workers are going on strike on November 12th, and we're going to be with them, and you're invited to join us. There are flyers in the back so that you can take them and give them to your friends and family as well. And here's some information. Now I'm going to ask Gerry to come up and tell you his story.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, thank you very much for inviting me this meeting. I think it's a very important for me, and I think it's not for me. It is 1.3 million workers around the world. I worked to Walmart for 2006 because I live in Las Vegas, and I was a bartender in a casino. And that's why I'm quit to my bartending, because I don't like, I see people drinking in the bar, and I quit. And I think God have a plan for me I work to Walmart, because I want to see about Walmart management and how I treat the workers. And after that, 2006, and first day I worked to Walmart, and I observed, and this company, it's just the management is very disrespected to workers. And this my personality is, I always observe inside the store, but I'm working hard. And if I start to clock in and I start, work, and I stop if I break time. And 2007, and I moved here in Washington State, because I don't like to live in Las Vegas, because the gambling problem, gambling over there, and drinking. But I don't drinking, I don't gambling. And I worked in 2007 in a Federal Way store, and now it's mean I observed this inside the store in about the safety. Safety is very important to a workplace, to workers. I work to prepare good in chemical, and I think like 15 pallet jack is broken. And I keep going open door to my store managers. Go, how's you guys, you don't replace the pallet jack? And the store manager, he responded to me, and he said, Gerry, it's no budget for buy this equipment. So because did you like you guys to, people in here is having hurt in accident for using broken equipment? And this management just keep going lying to me, and he said, Gerry, don't worry about that. I'm ordering, and I'm ordering, but I'm waiting for 1 year's Walmart don't order. And this is my strategy, and because I work overnight, and I encourage to my coworker for sign for about the safety about the safety. And my coworker, he signed, I think almost 30, my coworker, he signed that. And I bring I bring to my store manager, and she goes, this is if you don't respond this problem inside the store, and this is my coworker, he signed that already, but he keep going lying to me. And after that, and I keep going work every night and observe, and after that, I destroy my 2 knee because I work overload, and I work people good in chemical, and I stack 20 pallet every day, every night. And Walmart management, the more you see it, the more you're working hard, the more you give you overload. And I'm not complain that, because I can do anything about that, because if you agree to Walmart management, you're gonna call you in office. She's gonna threatening you, and they say, Jerry, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're gonna fire you, and you get a lot of threatening to me. And after that, I decide to file unfair labor practice. You know unfair labor practice, right? ULP. And I filed that because the management is every night is harassing me to my job place. And Jerry, you don't allowed to. You told me that you don't allowed to signing here. You don't allowed to unionize in here. See, because I'm not signing in here. I stand up my right because you guys, you don't treat the workers right. And I kept going that because it's my personality is, if it's right, it's right. I don't scare that. And even Walmart management keep going harassing me. I don't scare. Because if it's right, it's right. And until that I'm joined our Walmart organization, because, and every night is like, I feel like I'm sick because Walmart gave me an overload every night. And, this is my feelings is, and I've been praying, so Lord, who's going to help me for this situation in Walmart? And I keep going praying. And after that, our Walmart organization, he knocked my house door, and his name is Kenny, and he said, Jerry, did you work to Walmart? She goes, yes, I work to Walmart. And he asked me, hey, what's going on? She goes, you know what? It is hard to work this company because you control everything. And I joined to our Walmart organization, and I keep going strong and strong every day. And I think I have a 30 open door to my store for about the safety. I don't stop that. And I told my store manager, if you guys, you don't do it right, I don't stop. Keep going inside your office. And I keep going that every day. And I go into public, and the UFCW, our Walmart, and invite me to public and telling about the Walmart story. I don't stop that. Because, this hurt me a lot, because, how this Walmart, he affected a lot of life around the world. It's like me, most especially right now, to my life. I have a family to feed it, and I have a future, to my life too. But Walmart fired me for the situation, because Walmart, the multi-billion dollars company in the world, and he controlled the world. Honestly, this company, I love this company. But, I like Walmart to do it the right way to workers. To do it the right way to human being. It's not, that's the own opinion, on this money. It's mean, he controlled the world because the powerful, because the money. But it's not right. It's mean he affected the human being. All this us in the world is God created. It's supposed to be help each other. It is not like take advantage to people. But honestly, I love this company. That's why, what? Every night I go into work, I always customer service. I help customer a lot, and I work hard. But Walmart, she don't recognize me in how I hard work, but she don't recognize me. Walmart think about that's own money, that's it. And they said, Walmart management told me, he said, Jerry, I pay you here to work. Now, you shut your mouth. And it's just very sad. And that's why, who's going to help us? Who's going to work? I help to 1.3 million workers around the world. Us. That's why right now I don't stop. Even Walmart fired me. Like last 3 days ago, I went to Washington, D.C. and talk to people to make change to Walmart. I don't stop. If it's God used me to telling the truth and spread the word about the Walmart problem, I don't stop that. Because it's very hard. It's very sad. Some of my co-workers before, sometimes he asked me about buy soda because he live in paycheck to paycheck. See how it's hard, huh? And my store I work is like he's making every Friday, Saturday, he's make like 400,000 a day. How's that? In how many stores around the world? 10,000 stores. How's that making money, this company? How is this you don't share this money to workers? But it's not. This is very sad. That's why I'm here, and I think you're going to hear my story and all over the place. And it's very sad, and I'm very emotional that because, if I think about only myself, I don't do it this. I think about that to my co-workers. Because, it's mean all this human being here in the world supposed to be help each other. It's not being selfish because for money. It is very sad, right? That's why I'm here. I don't stop. That's why tomorrow I'm going to University of Renton for culinary. But even I go into school, I don't stop this campaign to Walmart. But I try to myself to UFCW or Walmart to help me to back to work to Walmart because I love this company to work. Because I challenged it a lot. I challenge a lot to Walmart. Because I stand up my right and I think if it's showing the campaign to a community to help me to back me to work, I think it's very awesome. Yeah, it's just very emotional because seriously, I think it's even my bills is hard to pay because Walmart fired me, targeting me, and Walmart he fired me for no reason, and it's like he terminated me for unlawful termination, and he suspended me for 2 weeks, and after that, and I've been calling to my store manager, why you suspended me and why you fired? I said, Jerry, it's under investigation. So go under investigation for what? And after 2 weeks, he called me in office. He said, I'm threatening to my co-workers, and I don't do that. As a human being, I don't do that to my co-workers. And Walmart, and this long time he targeting me, and he fired me for no reason. And now as I'm looking for a job, and my family suffer for those. That's why I need you guys' help. I think it is very important to write this coming Black Friday to if you guys have support our Walmart to make change to 1.3 million workers around the world. I think it's very awesome. It is my story. I think you heard my story, and thank you so much for hearing my story.
So that's powerful. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry is, like I said, he hasn't skipped a beat. He hasn't stopped. He is a fierce advocate for his coworkers, for his family, for all of us. And he's not alone. Workers across the country are standing up. Some are suffering retaliation, others aren't. Some workers who never stand up for themselves get fired for no good reason, not just the leaders. But Walmart can change. We've shown that they can change. I showed you the example of the workers demanding a safety improvements in the store and getting some results. Walmart is responding to public pressure. They're losing money. They're not. Their stores are not profitable year after year, and part of that is because of the understaffing. They're not keeping their shelves full. They're getting a lot of criticism for that, for not staffing adequately, empty shelves, unhappy customers, non-profitable stores. But it's not about the money. This is about the workers. And Gerry's right. This is about human beings and our obligation to each other. So I think at this point, if there's any clarifying questions you have, we can do that real quick, or we can break into your discussion groups, which you normally do. Yes, sir. Well, the Walton family, a lot of the wealth that they amass is through their stock. And so oftentimes, I'm sure you've seen with like Facebook and other companies, they manage to get rich even if their companies aren't profitable. It's not that Walmart isn't profitable worldwide. So the same store sales is one statistic just to see how their stores are profitable. They take one store and say year after year, is it growing? Is it becoming, are sales increasing? And in the last 2 or 3 quarters, they've had same-store sales losses. So the stores that are open for more than a year, year after year, are losing money. But what Walmart does very well is they build new stores. So if you can't make money in the stores that you have, you build more stores. You put other competitors out of business, and then you have more stores. And Walmart has pledged to continue to build more stores, especially in urban cities like Seattle. They're very determined to build more stores, and we certainly are opposing that until Walmart does right by their workers. Gerry, can you come up so you?
Yeah, it's you know, if you go into Walmart, you're saving money and helping the community too. I love this company, but you know what it's mean? I like to change to Walmart the way he treat the workers, because you know, Walmart is helping a lot of people too. You know, this is my opinion is, you know, it's mean treat the workers right to be their company in the world. You know, to be their be their job. You know what I mean? It's just if the more like treat the workers right, the more Walmart, the more making money. Because it's for me, it's mean even Walmart you don't treat me right, but I always take care of the business because I don't like take advantage to people. But I'm showing my right. I'm showing to Walmart right because you know right is right. You know. Thank you.
And Gerry's not alone. There are a lot of leaders in our Walmart who are very clear. They love their jobs. They love their coworkers. They love their customers. They just want Walmart to be the best that it can be. They want Walmart to be a leader and demonstrate that you can be profitable and you can treat workers fairly. So, yeah. Yes?
Yeah, I report what is a problem is that's why it's very scary this company because he control everything. And I call OSHA for report this. And OSHA, before he come to my store, he called first. Okay, I'm busy at your store. And all those broken equipment, he hide them.
Yeah. But one thing that Gerry did do is he did file a formal complaint because of the retaliation he was suffering because he was raising safety issues. He won that. Yeah, and Walmart, as a result, was forced to put a little sign up in the break room saying, we're sorry, you actually have the right to do these various things, and we won't interfere with your rights again. So Gerry did win a suit against them. It's no monetary damages, of course, but he did win a retaliation charge.
So, do you have an attorney representing you, Gerry?
For
unlawful termination?
supposed to be I file EEUC, but the government is shut down. And
No, I
But-
asked that because it's illegal. You can fire employees for any reason as long as it's for legal reason. And it sounds like it has to be investigated. And, I don't know what the outcome.
yeah,
is,
it's
but-
mean I'm like I'm being like because Walmart is like they have like investigate that, and because if you call that open door, I open door to main office, I open door to my district, and you not work, you don't work, and but I have no attorney about that right now, and
You don't have an attorney?
no,
Okay.
no, I have no attorney about that, and it's mean that's why I decided to go into school for culinary because and it's like I have a kids and I have a family too to feed it. That's why, yeah.
I thought I heard that there was a suit against Walmart for sex discrimination, women not being part of this, and you know how that's going to.
Well, there was the largest class action suit filed in the history of the United States against Walmart for gender discrimination, and then the Supreme Court famously blew that out of the water by saying that you can't file a class action lawsuit. It was basically a too big to sue argument, that if you're that big, all of the women have to demonstrate that they were discriminated against in a similar way, or that, so basically what the Supreme Court did was limit the possibility of large-scale lawsuits, class action lawsuits like this in the future. What's been happening since then is that the class has broken up into like states, and different states are now suing for gender discrimination to demonstrate that, yes, these women are in a class together because they're impacted by the same management team, or it's complicated, but basically they didn't say that there were not merits to the suit. They just said that Walmart's too big to sue in that manner. And yeah, so. Yes, sir. Organization United for Respect at Walmart does pursue legal legal means, does pursue filing charges when you can, and getting retaliation and clearly unlawful behavior dealt with. But if you're familiar at all with labor law in this country, I think you would be shocked at how much corporations can get away with and really not suffer any consequences. And if there are consequences, they come 10 years down the road or longer, and it's basically a slap on the wrist, if that, for corporations. And so we do have, our Walmart does have a legal team, and they do pursue that. But really what this is about people power. And really the way that Walmart is going to change isn't by suing them. They have teams and teams of high-paid lawyers that are going to countersue and argue everything unimaginable, and when they do end up having to pay, they will pay, but it's inconsequential for them. And so really this is about the power of people, the power of community to stand up and demand that Walmart do better. Walmart isn't going to change because we sue them. They're going to change because their workers force them to change, and because communities in which they operate demand that they change. And so, but I definitely understand where you're coming from, and when you see an injustice like this, it's hard not to say, just go after them, just sue them. And those options are being pursued, but labor law in this country is not what it's cracked up to be. One more question, and then I think we'll go to the small group conversation. Yes? Would you like the woman in purple? And that's a good point. I'll let Jerry speak to this a
Yeah.
little also. But
Yeah, it's mean a lot of people. You know what? A lot of Walmart workers supposed to be going to boycott, but he's so afraid because of Walmart management is totally to like bullying every day for that. That's why a lot of workers they don't want to lose this job, and that's why they don't do that. But mostly worker is they don't like to Walmart, and he's so afraid. Yeah, he's so afraid about that. But me, I'm not afraid to Walmart because I know I stand up my right, and but he fired me.
But as far as a consumer boycott, our Walmart is really about supporting the workers and organizing the workers, and making change at Walmart is about educating community and educating consumers. And customers are going to make their own decisions, right? We're not about speaking to the behavior of customers, we're about speaking to Walmart's behavior. And there are some workers, Walmart management is very good at demonizing those of us who are supporting workers, and they have meetings with workers and say, look, they want you to lose your job, they want you to lose hours. They're saying people don't shop in your stores. That means you're not going to get your hours, you're not going to get the paycheck that you need to feed your family. So Walmart management is very good at spinning things and making us seem like we're the enemy, and we don't want to feed into that, and we also are really focused on Walmart's behavior. Consumers are going to make the choices they're going to make. Some customers are going to continue to shop. If they continue to shop, we ask them while they're shopping to let the workers know that they're supporting them and that they stand by them. The workers who choose not to shop, that's fine too. That's their decision. The consumers who choose not to shop at Walmart, we ask that you continue to support the workers through the protests.